Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 6th grade concept of interpreting numeric data. This is standard 6.13a in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 19 of the 2018 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and then we will look at our answers together. So we have a stem and leaf plot that shows the percentages correct on a Spanish test. All we simply need to do is to interpret the stem and leaf plot and to figure out which of these four statements is correct. Most important part is this key right here. So a 7 in the stem and a 0 in the leaf means 70%. So we do have to realize that we're dealing with percentages, but besides that little change, it's going to be pretty simple. The stem is going to act as our tens place. The leaf is going to act as our ones place. And so we can see, take a look at this first row here, the stem of 7. So we've got 7 and we've got 3 zeros, which means we've got 70, 70, 70. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 75s. This is actually one reason why, if we're wanting to display data, a stem and leaf plot is actually kind of useful, because if you have all those bunched together, it's kind of nice just to pull that 7 over into the stem and to just list the ones place in the leaf. So if we're looking at our 8 as our stem, we've got 80, 80, 80, just kind of like we have 3 70s, but now we only have 3 85s, 85, 85, and 85. And then reading our 90, 90, 95, 95. Now notice we have a 10 in the stem. So 10 in the tens place is really more like a 100, but we can only have a 1-digit leaf, so that's why we have a 10 in the tens place. So that's our data. Now how does that help us? Let's take a look at our answer selections here. 9 students answered 55% of the questions correctly. Well, 9 students, but 55 doesn't even show up. So where in the world are we getting this 55 from? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 5s. So perhaps someone might choose this answer simply because they see a whole bunch of 5s. But there is no 55. The lowest score is 70. So this is really just one of those deception answers for those that don't know how to read a stem and leaf plot. B, half the students answered 70 or 75% of the questions correctly. We can work with that. So half, exactly half. So we need to see how many total responses we have. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there were 8 that did 70 and 75. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That did 80 or 85. 4 and 1. So that's not going to work, because we've got 8 that got 70 or 75. And if you count those up, that makes 11. We have 11 that had anything other than 70 or 75. So that's not going to work, but that was a decent idea, because 70 or 75 is the biggest stem. So unless you're counting up visually, you might think, oh yeah, that might be half. 8 students answered more than 80% of the questions correctly. So it's greater than, it's not greater than or equal, which means we're not going to count the 80s. We're just going to count everything above 80. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So make sure we're not counting the 80s, because it says more than 80. So that could possibly be correct. Let's put a question mark on that one, and then let's just double check to make sure our D is incorrect. 10 students answered 100% of the questions correctly. No, only 1 student answered 100% correctly. Why would they even give that as an answer? Well, look at the stem. If you're not sure how to read this, if you think this is 100, you could think that this 10 in the stem means that there are 10 students. That is simply the stem. So the answer is C.